Hello friends and enemies, welcome to or back to Happy for Now. It's me, Isabel, here with your Kindle Unlimited check-in. It's been about 2 months since the last one, which means we're right on time. I'm proud of myself because I have so many books and so many things I want to read, and I just don't always prioritize my KU checkouts. I also have a note when we get to the ones I've checked out because y'all should be proud of me. There's a reason to be proud of me here. But yeah, I realized the other day, I was like, oh my gosh, I hit 11 books, so it's time for the check-in. So here we are with it. I'm really excited. I've got quite a few good ones to talk about. And some not so great ones to rehash again, so that's fine. Anyways, let's dive in and let's talk about what I currently have checked out on KU, which is less than 20 books. Is it 19? Yeah, it is. Listen, that's a win. I will have you know that is a win that I am not maxed out on checkouts right now. So be proud of me. I'm proud of me. First things first, I have two from the same author. We have Surrender to the Moonlight, which is a Georgia paranormal set series. I don't know a ton about this, but I'm just kind of, as we enter fall and winter, I love paranormals in the fall and winter. So when I saw these by Drea Anderson, I knew I wanted to read them. So I will probably read this one second because it's longer of the two. But this one looked really good. I've seen a lot of people talking about it on my feeds all over the social media spaces, and I've heard nothing but good things. So I think it just sounds like a fun time. This one is definitely a wolf shifter and a family with magic. So our heroine, I think, has magic, and he's a wolf shifter, so that sounds fun. And then the other one from her that I have checked out right now is One Night, One Bite. This is her Black Vampire series / book. This is only 80 pages, so I will probably be reading it pretty soon here. And I'm really excited for it because I think it sounds really fun personally, and I think it's just one of those things where I'm always looking for somebody else writing vampires and maybe some stuff that's going to feel a little different than our usual vampire myth. So I'm excited to read this one by Drea as well. Next, we have the Texting series by Tegan Hunt. So I read all of the Carolina Comets. I also read Body Check, which we'll talk about in a bit. Yeah, so I was like, I want to read the Texting series at some point because they show up in the Carolina Comets and I think in Body Check too, if I remember right. But yeah, so they show up there. And this is the box set of all of the Texting series novellas. Like, none of them are long. So I wanted to go ahead and grab it. Like, the whole box set is 742 pages. So, like, it's not bad. It does have, 5 books in it. One's a novella. The first one is a wrong number text and a baby goat, which is one I'm really excited for because we have met this person in the Carolina Comets, and him and his partner in those books is hilarious. The next one is like Roommates to Lovers. The third one is A Single Dad. She's his son's teacher. Then it's A Second Chance. And then this is the novella catching up with, I think, our first couple. So yeah, I'm excited for this. I am just kind of sitting on it for a day when I just feel like, A, I can't sleep because Tegan Hunter will keep me up all night, or B, I'm just kind of in a slumpy, down, sad mood. I feel like Tegan Hunter always kind of lifts me up a little bit. Then I have Teacher of the Year by M.A. Wardell. This is a own representation, gay romance, and I'm really excited for this. This is a book that my members and I are reading this month of October. I have started it. I don't have a lot of thoughts yet though. But this follows Marvin Block, who's a kindergarten teacher with anxiety, and he has like a sweet life, he says. He wants the Teacher of the Year award for himself and his school. And then he meets one of his students' single dads and his focus slides. I think it sounds really cute. The next book in the series I think sounds even cuter, so I do want to read that. And that means I need to read this first because though I don't always go in order, I feel like I need to go in order with this one. Then we have Skeletons of Society by Maria Maravilla. So I've already read the second book, Syndicate of Sins, and freaking loved it. Obsessed with it. I need to buy like all the special editions. I just got a Hello Lovely special edition from my friend. And yeah, so I want to read Skeletons of Society since I read the second book in the series, and also to be prepared when the third one drops probably early next year. I think, I'm not sure. I have not checked on like her writing schedule for this. I think it's on Amazon for December or January. I think January. So yeah, I would like to read this one before the end of the year for sure. This follows a badass heroine who is an assassin, and she really takes no one's shit, and her love interest is like undercover and very concerned for her, and she's just over here kicking ass. And I don't know if I will go back and read it, but I do want to read this one for sure. I believe this one has Primal Play, which is why it piqued my interest immediately. So yeah, I'm pumped for it. Next we have Pucking Wild by Emily Rath. Yes, I still haven't read it. I'm kind of waiting because I'm waiting on my signed copy to arrive from Stimula. I think I've talked about this before, but I'm waiting on that to arrive. So I have it checked out so I can read it, and then I want to annotate my copy when I get it because I'm going to be annotating Pucking Around when I get it. So this one. Also in December, like I want to annotate both those books before the end of the year, although I might annotate it. I might get the regular version and annotate that. I'm not sure. Anyways, I want to annotate these books. And because of that, I don't want to start reading it until I'm like very ready to do so. Next, we have The Before Girl, which is a Kate Canterbury, and everybody I know is obsessed with Kate Canterbury. So I checked it out. I do have Jam on audio, so I just have to decide which one I want to read first. But I'm excited. I've heard good things, at the very least. I still have Tal Bowers, the rest of the story checked out. I do want to read it. I've heard it will make me cry. So I know this is like one of my friend Steph's favorite books. I know my friend Brie also read it for her members and like sobbed. I haven't watched the video yet because I haven't read the book. It's long. She talks about it a lot. But I think we might just do like a mini hockey vlog at some point here where I just read a bunch of these hockey books I've checked out because I need to / want to, but I keep like bouncing around to other stuff too. I'm still in my hockey phase, but I'm also just like very scattered currently on what I want to read. But yeah, this one I've put off because I just don't know that I want to sob yet. Then I have Accidental Hero by Nicole Snow. So close. Nicole Snow. This is one that one of y'all recommended to me, and I do still want to read it, and I'm planning to do so. This is like an accidentally engaged situation. They sound fun and a little messy. This is the problem. I've been reading for projects, and that's part of why I'm so behind. Anyways, then we have Double Pucked by Lauren Blakely. This is the one that's a MFM, I think. I do not think Swords Cross. I'm just going to go ahead and preface that I do not think Swords Cross on this one, but she ends up going to a meet and greet with these two hockey players that are her ex's favorite after he dumped her, and they all start dating and torture him, and I love this setup. It's so funny. It's just such a fun setup. It's the absolute best. Then I have Defensive Hearts, which is an enemies to lovers, grumpy sunshine, jealous possessive, sports romance. That is all the things in the title. Wow. She accidentally texts him like a sexy photo, and it turns out they're like co-workers or something. It's interesting. I'm very curious about this one. It sounds fun to me. It also sounds like it plays on a lot of tropes I tend to like. I do tend to enjoy jealous and possessive, depending on how it's done. I think it can work well in sports romances, but it just depends. Then I have The Monstrous Duke and I, because my members were doing a read through of the series and I fell off. So nobody liked this one. So I don't know. Like, I think I might possibly in November try and read like the couple I missed and do a vlog for them and just to see what I think. And I might just freely DNF what I don't enjoy of these. I was excited for this series and I think the Marble Marquis was really good, but I feel like perhaps the rest of the series does not hold up to standard as much as we may have hoped. Next I have Funny Girl by Emma Barry. This is another one that I'm kind of just holding because you get the audio with the Kindle Unlimited checkout because it's Montlake. But also Emma Barry is an author that tends to make me giggle and laugh and feel really good. So I kind of am holding it in a weird way for when I'm in just like a place where I need a good laugh. So we'll see if I get to it sooner than later. Next we have Breakaway by Grace Riley. This was a really popular hockey one that went around on TikTok for a while and a lot of people have liked. This is the daughter of the coach, I believe, and the star hockey player. I'm curious about it and I do want to read it. It sounds cute, but I'm also like unsure if I'll even like it because I keep seeing more and more mixed things about this one. Next we have Team Player by Deanna Gray. This is the second book in her Mindell Hawk series. I enjoyed Sunny Disposition a lot and I'm really excited to read the second book because this is Black Love and hockey. So like that sounds really fun. Our heroine is a female hockey player and I just love that setup because we don't have a lot of books with female hockey players and I would like to see more of it. There are a couple, but I would love to see more of it. Next we have my two newest checkouts and the last two things I've checked out. I did check Demon's Dream back out because this is a 758 page book that I want to read that came out last year. Yeah. This is supposed to be bananas dark romance. For 30 days she gives herself to this man called Demon, had to follow his rules, honor his demands, and they like slowly fall in love and it's supposed to be so worth the read. So I'm kind of sitting on it because I would like to read it, but I'm also like nervous that it's gonna be like an Emily Ross situation wherein I sit down and read this book and like don't get up until I finish it or like read it in 2 sittings. Or I'm gonna like take me forever to get through because it's so long. So we'll see. I've heard it's worth it. from multiple people, so I do want to read it sooner than later. And then last but not least, as we enter fall, I am feeling mafia again. I don't know what it is about fall, but like I feel like mafia books and like darker romances, somewhat things that are just like creepy, I don't know. That's my mood in the fall kind of for reading. So I did check Sinful Vow back out by Asia Monique, and I do want to read it sooner than later, and I'm determined to read it before I return it this time. I've had to do some swapping for projects, obviously, so that one went back. But this is a arranged romance. This is a series I just really want to read, to be honest. I just think it's going to be a good time. I know she re-edited the manuscript this year also, which is interesting. So I'll just be curious to pick this up. I think it's going to be fun. A lot of people I know have loved it and enjoyed it, so I do think I will also enjoy it. All right, now let's talk about all the books I've read from KU in the last 2 months. And yeah, I would like acknowledgement for the fact that I only have 19 books checked out right now. Go me, 19 books. It feels good. It feels good to know I have a slot when I decide I want to check something out right now. Okay, what have I read? A lot of unhinged books. 3 of these are like bananas books. So first up we have Seduced by the Pumpkin Spice Latte. I read this in a 24-hour vlog situation, and listen, just go read it. Go read it. I will be live, if you're a member, next Saturday, like this upcoming Saturday, with Bree and some people where we're going to read this one. So if you want to join us and you're a member of either of our channels, check it out. This was wild. It's a great fall read. So I highly recommend if you did want to give it a try. It's also short. It's just bonkers. If you, like me, read some of these just really bonkers ones because they just make you giggle, Seduced by the Pumpkin Spice Latte has your back. And it's an older one, so that's like even better. Next we have my newest favorite series right now, and I'm dying for the release in December, and I doubt I'll get an arc, but I might try. And that is Bonded by Thorns and Woven by Gold. This is a this is a series that I've read 2 of in 2 months. Like, I literally read the first 2 books like back to back. This is a Beauty and the Beast inspired Why Choose with Faye and all this good. It's so good. It is so good. But yeah, it's got Beauty and the Beast elements that are like perfectly integrated, and then 4 heroes that are our love interests. 4 or 5? 5 kind of. Book 1, perfect setup. Book 2, even better. Somehow book 2 was even better, and I don't know how they managed that. This is a sister duo that writes it. Because, like, listen, I've so often been disappointed by book 2s. So I was stressed going into it. I was like, I hope I love it. And Shay and I buddy read it, and we blew through it. And honestly, if you read series that aren't complete, and you like fantasy romance, and you like Beauty and the Beast inspired stuff, you need to pick this up, and you like Why Choose. I really don't think you can go wrong. I really think it's really well done. It's really entertaining to read. I would be happy if this was a 5-book series, like right now. That's how I'm sitting. Like, I am so happy. So like if they kept the series going for a little bit, I'm gonna be good. Next, I read My Dark Romeo. This is by L.J. Shin and Parker S. Huntington. My first Parker S. Huntington, who is moderately popular right now, I feel like. This was in the TikTok, the other one was too. I did the video where I read the books on TikTok that followed me, and a lot of them are KU titles, unsurprising. This one was not as bad as I expected it to be, which is a weird statement, but I generally don't like mesh well with LJ Shin's writing always. It's just not my favorite, and I don't always find it, I like her characters. So this one, I didn't hate them and I didn't love them. I didn't love fully some of the Southern representation in this book and how Southerners were portrayed to an extent. It was kind of frustrating to read at moments. And I also just think like the way the book is marketed by people on TikTok / potentially through the authors to having people post things does not align with what is inside this book. Those moments are very, very small and not enough, in my opinion, to warrant the way the book is being pushed to people. So there's that. It's very much enemies to lovers. Then I read Morbidly Yours. This was a really cute romance set in Ireland. It is a widow that's running away from her life kind of in the States to go work at the studio in Ireland, and her neighbor is a mortician and a funeral home. And it's their slow romance where she's basically trying to help him get back on the market and date so he doesn't lose the funeral home. And they're both like slowly falling in love with each other in this process, and it's really sweet. It's really cute. It's quite funny. I think this is a great fall read if you are looking for a fall read, because I feel like it hits all those things without being too like dark or grim considering his profession. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Then I read Stuffed To which I no longer trust bellows. It's fine. Stuff was interesting. Brie and I read this with members as well. We're kind of doing this where once a month we read a book, and we read 2 different like bonkers books. One is like a very short one under 30 pages, and one is usually like 2 sprints worth of reading. So we read Stuffed, which was a sentient bellow, and you know what? I'm still grossed out by parts of this book. And she's writing a second one, and I love this. I love that she's like, you know what, y'all liked it? I'll write you more. What is this pillow man's life like now that he is sentient? I don't want to give too much away, but if it's piqued your interest, if you've seen some of the TikToks, I really think it is worth reading because it was just perfectly bonkers. And you know what? I respect it. I respect it. Next, I read one of the most hyped books of the summer for me, which was Only for the Week. This was fantastic. If you have had this on your radar, if you love a caretaking hero, but also one that stands up for the heroine, this is perfect. This follows our heroine who is going on a trip to Tulum before the wedding for her sister who's marrying her ex-boyfriend. But they didn't date for very long and weren't like in love. You know what I'm saying? Like they were just kind of together. And it follows that and her confronting her family on a bunch of issues. So content note for that. There's a lot of like family confrontation in this book at the end. And drama kind of throughout. But it follows them and her ex is like one of his best friends, Rome, who has kind of had a thing for her as soon as he saw her. But was like, I can't date her. I can't do anything. They're together. And now is like, how about we just hook up for a week? Use me like a stress ball. Yes, please. Oh my God. It's so good. So good. So good. But on that note, it's definitely a book that like, there are people I don't know if they would love it or not. But like, if certain things of this, like that I'm telling you about this book, ping you, like I should try that, then I think it's worth the shot. But yeah, he rents her a yacht so she can read all day on the water. Cause he was like, well, this will be more private than the beach. Like, dramatic in a weird way, and also suffered in some weird ways for like plotting and other things. Like the fact that this book, she's like super rich, which I love. I love a rich heroine. I really do. And like there's just like no thought to like potential consequences to an extent. They're just like, whatever, we're having fun. And then the entire end of it hangs on this huge miscommunication that could have been solved in 5 seconds if they'd freaking talked to each other. Oh my God. Anyways, very frustrating. I did not love this at all. Like really did not like this. So I will be curious to see how the sequel is. Like I said, I'm not like swearing off Tegan Hunter by any means. I'm just like, what was this? Because this just did not hit me the same way all of the other books I've read by her have, or work for me the exact same way. So there's that. All right, back to regular me in front of good lighting. Next, we have Pump 2. This is another book I saw on Twitter because there's pictures inside, and I am a sucker for books with pictures inside. I cannot deny this. I'm always curious about it. It's an interesting thing. This is a debut, basically. They took down their other book. And this follows a guy who rides motorcycles and a girl who works at a gas station, and he comes in one night and doesn't take off the helmet. And it just kind of continues like that. Like he ends up saving her. They end up like kissing in a closet with the light off so she can't see his face. So it has like the whole mask fetish, but it's done in a way that's really fun and like makes sense for real world. I also enjoyed how normal it was, we'll say. Like this is just 2 pretty normal people. This isn't like random billionaires. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just like this guy that rides motorcycles and wears his helmet in the full face. I don't know. It was a weirdly hot book, and it was really enjoyable. I struggled to rate it because I didn't know what to think by the end. I don't know if I loved the end or needed the end fully, but overall, I still think it was a really good time. And a very, very quick read. Next, we have the Prince Reform Program, Vanquish the Beasts. I read this for a commission on a video, and I read it through KU because it was a KU title, so I wanted to give the page turns, and I need to go write a review on Amazon. This is a good reminder. This was fun. If you want a Beauty and the Beast / other fairy tale inspired book that is more YA reading, I think this is a good time. I think this just it was a fun debut. I was pretty surprised at how much I enjoyed it. I gave it like a 3.5. Overall, the author I thought did a great job just like writing the story and fleshing out a pretty different story. Our heroine, she ends up going to the castle disguised as like an ugly beast to help save this prince from his curse and we get a lot of like good and interesting plot here, like way more than I expected, I guess, especially for not being very long. Like this book is not super long. So that was enjoyable. I really liked how it mixed in different fairy tale stuff somewhat, and I liked how it really differentiated itself from other Beauty and the Beast inspired books. So I just think it did a good job of kind of mashing a lot of things together and also not being identical to a lot of things, which can be an issue when you read a lot of Beauty and the Beast books, in my opinion. And last but not least, oh no, not least, is Monster Mash. I read this with Brie also. Again, it's 2 months, so you're getting caught up on my what we've done. So Monster Mash was a thing that I read with Brie. This was wild. First of all, I almost want to reread it and highlight all of the characters she owns because there were so many that I lost count and / could not keep track. This has everything you could want, okay? She throws a party for Halloween after dumping her shitty ex, and nobody shows up. And her decorations come to life because she accidentally made a mistake with her spell, and she fucks like a ton of the decorations. And we get girl on girl action, we get girl on guy, like we get it all here, okay? Which is really fun. Because I feel like a lot of these books are like pretty MF, like heteronormative. And this was like, no, I am going to give you the mash of all time. The smash of all times. We did get a Monster Mash reference to the Crypt Kicker and whatever. This was so good and so bonkers. And again, I just feel like if you want to read something for Halloween that is just bonkers, you need to pick up Monster Mash sooner than later because it is a good time. Let me tell you, it is a good time. And it's also a confusing time all at the same time. So there's that. We explained the plot to Brie's partner, JT, and that was also very, very amusing to me. So yeah, if you haven't read it yet or you haven't heard about it, I really think this is one to add to your list to read for Halloween. Go read the Monster Smashing. Yeah, that's everything I've read from KU recently. Let me know in the comments what you've read and loved off KU recently. And how you're holding up. Are you like me now? Do you have less than the full amount of checkouts? Because I'm so proud of myself. If you do, I'm very proud of you as well. If you don't want to do that, you can leave me a ghost emoji in the comments because I'm wearing a ghost. All of these books for you down below, as well as links to my friend anywhere on the internet. And I will talk to y'all in just a few days. Bye!
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking, we'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we